strangers on the internet. I'm back. It's been a hot second since I have filmed slash put up a video. Actually, that's not entirely true of a statement. I have filmed some stuff, but I don't think any of it's gonna see the light of day. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to podcast version 2, volume 2. I'm in college now. Well, I've been in college, but I'm actually back at school now. So, new setting, who dis? There's boxes on the floor. Fun fact, tell me you're from North Carolina without telling me you're from North Carolina. My Cheerwine Zero, I brought 48 cans with me to college. And I'm already through my first box. This is the last one of the first box. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I'm gonna film in front of my little wall, room tour? Maybe? As in pulling you around and like showing you all the things I put on my wall. Cause there's stuff above. And then I also am not done putting stuff up on the wall. There's more stuff, but I'm gonna put it on the top. Anyway, I'm just gonna talk about some of the things I'm working on, none of which is anything that I've talked about before, I think. So, yeah. Basically, I left all my whips back home and have completely abandoned them until fall break. It's not entirely my fault. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna talk about is this. So, if you have seen my purple spiral sweater, this is a version in solid red. This yarn is the Big Twist Value Plus in the color Varsity Red. I'm in love with this red. I think it really shows the swirl design well. And yeah, so the reason I started this was, if you know the whole saga of my purple version of this sweater, let me just, so my friend, she bought the pattern and was like, Grace, I can't make this, like I can't figure out how to do the swirls, like I can't figure it out, and she's never made a garment before, so like that's kind of understandable. That's completely understandable actually. And so she sent me the pattern and was like, Grace, I need your help. And so I did a little gauge watch. I like filmed an entire step-by-step video for her, and then she still didn't make it. And then I ended up making the purple version because she was like, okay, you should go ahead and start, because she was stuck in Book World. And so I finished it. She still hadn't started yet. So I go over because she's about to go back to school. She started a week before I did. And so she's about to go back to school, and we're like, okay, we need to like get started. So we watched, what did we watch? We watched like the entirety of an anime, and now I'm forgetting what the name is. It's an isekai, and he ends up going on to the healing team. Oh, that's not how you use magical healing powers, something like that. So we watched the entirety of that while she started her first version with this, and I started this red one. And she very quickly realized that she was not gonna have enough yarn. Since then, she started, I think, 5 different versions of this sweater, and has still only finished the back panel on one of them. As of our last weekly phone call, because we have weekly phone calls because else we wouldn't talk to each other. Anyway, so that's why I started this one, and I finished the back and both the front panels, and it's all connected, and I started one of the sleeves, but because the balls of yarn are so big, it's not very portable, and I don't really have time to like sit in my room and do any crochet work or anything. So I can only really work on portable projects, so it hasn't really gotten any work done beyond what I got done at home. So yeah, we're on week 4 of school. What? I had my first exam today. Let me process this for a second. Anyway, so the main project that I've been working on, if you can go back and watch like my very first like 2 or 3 videos, I mentioned that I do theater stuff and stage manage, and at the time I was managing a show called, it was my first ever time stage managing. I was so stressed out the entire time. It was a show called Stop Kiss. I was asked back by the director to stage manage again. Who is she? The main character? I mean, who are they? Sometimes I forget. Okay, that's a whole other thing. Is like self-identifying and like pronouns and stuff like that, because it's like I prefer they them pronouns, but then I still self-identify as a girl, so it's like, because I still feel very feminine most of the time, but I do still prefer they them pronouns, if that makes any sense. I don't know if it does, because like I don't know, some people call me, they're like, oh my gosh, Grace, they're so awesome, and like they do this and that and the other, and I'm like, that feels right, you know? But then it's like, anyway, that's a whole other rant for another time about self-identity, and I still haven't figured it all out yet, so let me know if you can help me. What was I saying? Oh, stage manager. So I made my like favorite top that I've ever made. It's completely solid on the front and it's got a spider web on the back. It is absolutely gorgeous, and I made it and finished it just in time for opening night of Stop Kiss. And so I was like, okay, I have to make another shirt or another top for opening night of Silent Sky, which is the play that I'm stage managing now. And so the Silent Sky, it's a absolutely gorgeous play. It's about the story of Henrietta Leavitt, who is a female astronomer in like 1910 to 1920. She ends up passing away from stomach cancer. It's some sort of stomach area issue. I think it's stomach cancer, in like 1931, when she was like 54 or something like that. Like she died really young, but she made like a lot of contributions to the astronomical world, and like her research and the research that she did had to do with Cepheid stars. This is getting into more details than you really need to know. Anyway, she is this underrated woman in history, as a lot of women tend to be, and there's a play about her and I'm stage managing it. Long story short. Anyway, it's in 1910, so the characters were corset. So I was like, okay, I want to make a corset top, and because it's theater, it's in black. So this is my first cup panel. So I'm loosely basing it off of this like video tutorial that I found. I'll link it below. But the video tutorial was like double crochet, and I'm like, I want a little bit more coverage than that, so mine is in half double crochet. It's also like twice the number of rows. I kept all the increases and all the decreases the same, except in the original one it's like 5 rows of straight across, and I have like 25 of straight across. Yeah, so this is the first panel. This is the chest panel. It goes like this, and it's like the perfect size to go from like basically the middle of my underarm to the middle of my chest. And then the piece that I'm actively working on is this one, and I'm like most of the way through the straight section. I think I have 7 more rows. I have it on my computer, the sticky count, but this would be the other side. And then because I'm gonna be in the booth and I'm not actually going on stage, it doesn't matter if I'm like 100% blacks. I was gonna use this like cream, which I don't know what this is. The black is the 24/7 cotton in the color black, by Lion Brand. I love this cotton. It's pretty stiff. It's not as stiff as Lily Sugar and Cream, but it's not as soft as like, I don't know what a soft cotton is off the top of my head. The Hobie Friends cottons, those ones are pretty soft. Anyway, this is acrylic, but I don't know exactly what it is because I just stole it from Knitting Club. But I was like, this is perfect for the quote unquote boning, but like all of the seams. So there's a seam in the middle, and then okay. So you have the 2 chest panels, and then you have there's 2 body panels, and then there's seam all the way down the middle, and then like seams on the side and stuff like that, and then you add like fake boning seams on the bottom part. Oh no, my phone. So that's a thing. And so what was I saying? But the original pattern, the body isn't super long, so I am making it longer. Basically, I'm taking the shape of the original video pattern and kind of making it my own to fit my body, because she makes hers in a size small, and she has instructions on how to make it up to an extra large. I just want it to be comfortable for me, and I know enough about crocheting and garment making at this point to make adjustments to make myself happy. Yay! So that's like my big project that I'm working on, but since it's portable, so I just had this and this. And I'm using a 3.5, oh, I have it here, 3.5 millimeter hook. It's so tiny. But yeah, that was the other thing. She does it in double crochet and with a 5 millimeter hook or something like that. And I'm like, that is way too gappy for me. You're gonna see everything, and I don't need that. But yeah, so all my other projects I've kind of been stalled out on, either because they're back home or like my Wolfchan sweater that's getting its own project vlog. So expect that never. I've stalled out on it because I don't have time to sit down and do color work. But I did take time to design out what I want the front, because that one's also going to be a cardigan. I think I've really like grown into cardigans for like crochet wearables, or like if I'm gonna make like a sweater, I'm gonna make it a cardigan, because if I'm gonna wear like a sweatshirt or something, I want to do a sweatshirt. I don't want to do crochet, although I do love my other crochet sweater. And it's finally okay. September and October are my favorite months of the year for fashion because it's cool enough to wear sweaters finally, and Halloween. So this is like my Halloween, this is one of my Halloween things, and it's like the only 2 months that it's like appropriate to wear it. So yeah, anyway, that's kind of my update, a short little video of where Grace has been, also known as finally going to college, and I have like 12 million things going on. So can't promise any regular uploads for anything else, but once a week or once every 2 weeks, I would like to put out a little update video on what I've been crocheting recently. Yeah, it also doesn't help that most of my crocheting time for like more intricate work usually gets done at knitting club during the school year, but because I'm kind of the designated teacher at knitting club, for like knitting and crochet, for the first like 2 or 3 weeks, I expect to get 0 of my own work done. And so I think starting this week at knitting club, all of the people who like absolutely have no clue, have never knitted or crocheted before, they've kind of gotten the basic instruction, and it's more like answering questions about how do I do this stitch, or can you remind me of the next step to go to the next row, as opposed to teaching like, okay, this is how to make a slip knot and how to make a chain and how to do a single crochet. Do you want to do it in the round? Okay, here's the basics of a magic loop, where it's a little bit more hands-on, and there's a lot of people, so I'm usually teaching like anywhere from 5 to 10 people how to crochet all at the same time. Yeah, so I'm a former president of knitting club, but when I went abroad, our treasurer at the time became the president, and I was like, you stay president, like you're doing good, and so I'm now the vice president of knitting club. So anyway, I just show up, but that's the TLDR. That wasn't TLDR at all. That was very long did read. Anyway, I'm gonna continue working on this because I have like an hour of free time before I go to bed, because rehearsal was cut early today because people were sick, which is bad, but rehearsal got out early today. Okay, I will see you someplace else on the internet. Bye bye.